I never imagined my night would twist the way it did. Never pictured myself turning into that guy. The one people whisper about over cheap whiskey in shadowy bars, or the kind of story you stumble across in late-night confession threads. But somehow, that's exactly where I ended up. It only took one night to shatter everything I thought I knew about my wife, my marriage, and the life we'd built together. It started like any other Saturday. She mentioned she was heading to a bachelorette party. Nothing crazy, just drinks and dancing with the girls. She'd said it lightly, laughing as she added, "Don't wait up, we'll probably be out late." Her voice was casual, part of our usual routine. But there was something different in the way she looked that night. Not just pretty, deliberately beautiful. That red dress clung to her like it had been painted on, shorter than anything she normally wore. The heels looked more suited for a red carpet premiere than a crowded dance floor. Fresh curls framed her face, her makeup was flawless, and the air behind her was heavy with perfume that lingered long after the door shut. A small voice in my head asked, "Why dress like that for a night with friends?" I pushed it aside, but the unease stayed. Maybe it was the way she avoided meeting my eyes before leaving. Maybe it was skipping the goodbye kiss she'd never once forgotten, not even for a quick run to the store. Whatever it was, it crawled under my skin and wouldn't let go. I sat in the living room with the TV muted, my thoughts louder than any soundtrack. I told myself I trusted her, but trust begins to crack when silence starts to scream. Eventually, I picked up her iPad. She never turned off the location sync. A small pin appeared on the map, not at a bar, not at a club, but at a house in the suburbs. A place she hadn't mentioned. I told myself maybe it was just a meet-up spot before they went out. But an hour passed, then another. The pin didn't move. The heaviness in my gut turned into a solid weight. I grabbed my keys. That drive is burned into my memory. Every street, every stoplight. My knuckles ached from gripping the wheel, my heart pounding in my throat. I wanted to be wrong, but deep down, I knew I wasn't. When I pulled up, the truth was obvious before I even stepped inside. Cars lined both sides of the street. Music pounded so hard the bass rattled the windows. Shadows swayed behind drawn curtains. This wasn't some quiet hangout. It was a full-blown party. A drunk stranger with a red Solo cup opened the door, grinning like we were old friends. "Hey man, you made it," he said, clapping me on the back. I stepped in. The air was thick. Heat, perfume, alcohol, and something sour beneath it all. People were everywhere, laughing, yelling, kissing, swaying to the beat. I searched kitchen, living room, backyard, nothing. Then I noticed the hallway, quiet except for the muffled thump of music. At the far end, a single door sat slightly ajar. My chest tightened. Every instinct screamed at me to turn around. I didn't. I pushed it open. There she was, naked on a bed with a man I'd never seen before. They froze. Her face went pale. She grabbed for the sheet, eyes wide with guilt and fear. Her lips parted, maybe to say my name, maybe to make up a story. I didn't hear her. I turned and walked away. No yelling, no scene. Just a silence sharp enough to cut. The drive home was a blur, my hands shaking so badly I could barely hold the wheel. Back in our bedroom, the same bed that had once meant comfort, I sat on the edge and stared at the floor. No sleep. No tears. Just the endless replay of what I'd seen. Morning came. She returned, makeup smeared, eyes swollen, voice trembling. She talked about mistakes, about being drunk, about how it meant nothing. But to me, it meant everything. I'd already printed the divorce papers. I gave her 30 minutes. 30 minutes to pack. 30 minutes to erase herself from the home she'd destroyed. She pleaded. I didn't care. I'd rather live with the sting of the truth than choke on the sweetness of a lie. She could convince herself of whatever she wanted. I'd seen enough. That night taught me something I'll never forget. Love is fragile, and trust is sacred.